It's me, Kamilah Rose, and I'm back today for our Tarot Tuesday for October 19th through the 25th. So we have now moved into Scorpio season. Woo! We're getting close to that Halloween time. Things are getting really nice and cool and calm, hopefully. And last week's, alright, well, we've already got a card. King of Chalices again. And I shuffled these before I started. So we're in our feelings. Hopefully we have looked at that Four of Cups energy and we have opened our eyes to the new cup above us, and we say, you know what? I'm going to snatch that cup out the air and I'm going to start approaching some things differently. I will emotionally mature and I will move along. As we have entered into Scorpio season, we're going to see whether that is the case. Oh, Queen of Wands. Maybe we have. We've got some fire. We've got some energy. You need that fire. That's good. That's a good movement energy. It's someone who's going to be active. They're active. They are communicative. They don't have a problem expressing themselves. This is creativity. This is flow. This is great. This is a King of Water, Queen of Fire. We're moving, we're shaking, we've got the energy, we've got the passion, let's go. So this is good. Nice moves. Let us continue and hopefully this energy will keep up. Oh, well, it's we're not getting the jumpers anymore, so maybe now we have finally feeling some of that change that needed to happen, some of that release, some of that no longer being in the same situation. Okay, well. Eight of Swords. I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to say anymore. We back, y'all. We back. What's happening? What's happening, y'all? This time we've got the Two of Swords in reverse. So we need to sit down. We need to sit down and figure this out, and we're not. What is the stubbornness? What is happening? What is the stubbornness? What did we not want to look at? I think that's just where we are now. The Empress. We've got this energy. We've got this power, this abundance, this very fruitful, wonderful energy. All right, forget it. All right, what are we not looking at? What do we need to address? That is the question we are asking now. We're going to move away from this Tarot Tuesday. What is the topic that needs to be addressed? What is coming up and causing this need to move on, need to keep going, need to contemplate and rethink the way that we are? Oh, here we go. All right. It is the King of Wands reversed. Okay. So there is a situation going on with either within yourself or in your environment or with someone else, and this is a very charming, a very fiery individual. They can get people pumped up. They're probably very charismatic. You might be very charismatic. This is an energy of someone or something that gets people to be very active, engaged. People are drawn to, like the fire, they're drawn to this individual. And there's something about this individual or something within yourself that is just not necessarily doing what they need to be doing. They are not putting that energy towards growth and towards bringing balance and towards bringing light to others. They are pulling it in and more than likely using it for themselves. As you can see here, we have the Queen of Wands who is helping someone, teaching them, keeping them safe. You know, they're looking after and nurturing. And in this one, you have this person just kind of standing over them and being like, look at me, you know, okay, we need to be working together, not standing alone and kind of becoming that very dictator energy. Because when you're working together and you're trying to help each other, it will hopefully redistribute some of this energy. But it seems like you're in this space. We're in this space of collaboration, of emotional vulnerability, of focusing on our projects and on our passions. And then we keep ending up in this Eight of Swords energy, which is an energy of having learned a lesson and time for us to put that lesson into motion, to put that lesson into action, to get on the boat and move along. Time to go away from where you were to move on to something new so that you can use this knowledge for your good. And we kind of just keep going back and forth between this kind of sitting and waiting. But what are we waiting on? What are we waiting for? And we keep coming into these great moments of abundance. That that Empress card, great moments of abundance. And yet, here we go again. Six of Pentacles, concerns about finances, about stability. And a new card, finally, a Knave of Wands. Being like, well, okay, let's just go. Let's just make it happen. Let's make it work. Let's, use our collaboration, this energy that's here, this fire that's happening. Let's do it. Let's rile them up. Let's go. But we keep ending up in these same spaces over and over again. And it's like, why? Why do we keep ending up here? And what I'm just curious is, where is the stopping? Where is the stopping? Where is the planning? Where is the taking time to make sure that you're doing things that make sense? I don't see this here. I don't see it happening. I just see a lot of motion. I just see a lot of keep going. And look, there it came. There it is, right there. Four of Swords, which is needing to take a break. And the Queen of Swords, which is about reviewing information to find out what is necessary and what's unnecessary, and then cutting out what's unnecessary. We have to do a review, and we need to be honest about the findings that we do in this review, because we are being seduced. We are letting our own ego guide us and pull us into this pattern over and over and over again, because we are taking a fire-like approach to a situation that needs to have a little bit more of an air approach, which is going to be thoughtful. It's going to be taking some time and making some plans. And I know there's going to be folks who are like, that's earthy, making plans. Air folks are thinkers, they're perceivers. They are about gathering information. They are about sorting information. They are about understanding information, understanding communication, understanding how a world revolves around information and a society that revolves around information functions. But if we are taking this fire approach, which is necessary because fire is life, but if we're taking this approach that's only focused on the life, only focused on keeping going, and will not take this time to sit down, even when you get burnt out, even when you've learned the lesson, because hello, you've already been here, and you keep ending up in the same place, but you're like, nah, son, it's all right. We'll do it again, and it'll work out differently this time. And it's like, it does not. You don't. It doesn't. And you keep. It feels like maybe it's different because there's always an abundance that comes forth. Some people benefit from this situation. It always happens, but it's not ever anything that leads everyone to benefit. And it, like, what's the point then? What's the point? Like, are you doing this only for yourself? Is that where we are? Are we taking this selfish route and only focusing on ourselves, how we feel, what we want to do? Or are we trying to tap into something where we can create community and a situation where we're not ending up in this Six of Pentacles space over and over again, where It's, okay, well, I might have enough. Are you on the inside with the lights on, where it's safe, where it's warm, and then you have someone on the outside who is trying to contemplate, do they need to ask for help, or are they just going to try to make it on their own? Like, we can't keep pushing into this same sphere over and over again. We are running ourselves into a wall, and it is getting to be too much. So we're going to take an air approach. We're going to sit our butts down. We're going to look at all the information that's around us. So we're going to tap into each one of the air's strengths. Gemini's greatest strength is their ability to be able to gather information, to understand information, to be people who can perceive the world around us and take that raw energy and that raw information and to turn it into something that makes sense. Okay, we're going to gather. We're going to do some research, real research, y'all, not on these people's blogs, not even on my blog, y'all. Come on now. We're going to go and do some real research. We're going to find critiques of what we're finding. We're going to find people who disagree with what we're reading, and we're going to take that into account. And then from there, we're going to move on to the Libras, because Libras say, okay, you try to understand the world around us and share this back to us, reflect this back to us, our wonderful Gemini twins. And now it's not just us in our minds and with others expressing. Now it's literally the I and the other. And so we're going to do what Libras do best, which is we're going to be trying to bring some harmony between people. And we're going to say, okay, you've got this going on and you've got that going on. I have this idea, you've got that idea, and we need to make this work together. How do we find peace? How do we find harmony in a way that honors the justice, the truth, the freedom? How are we going to do this, y'all? And that's what Libras do, because they balance it out. I'll say it all the time. These scales don't balance themselves. It is not something inherent that just happens. We have to put work into it. And so that is what we're going to do now. You're going to sit down. You're going to find the balance. It might not feel fair if you're losing. Come on now. All right? Six of Pentacles. It might not feel fair if you have to give up something. And by give up, I don't mean like a sacrifice. There's no hangman here. There's no hangman energy here. There's no sacrifices going on here. This is a sharing of resources, whether it is your thoughts and ideas, whether this is your feelings, whatever your resource is, and whatever someone else's resource is. This is a sharing, a meeting, a coming together of peoples to share in resources so that everyone can get their needs met. And then we're going to move on to our final, our Aquarius, our wonderful ones who come into this and they look around at our society and they say that if it is going to require for me to lose who I am, I cannot be in agreement with it. And we're going to have to sit down, and that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one that's really kind of pulling at each and every one of us. But it's the one that we've got to grapple with the most. Is that if we're going to talk about this whole space of coming together to achieve these goals, this work that you want to do, this energy of the King of Cups, of water, of emotional security, then we have to find a way to do so through community. That's the only way it works. A supportive environment must be had to have a healthy individual. And if the environment is poisoned, if the environment is unhealthy, if the environment is ill, the individual will be unable to be healthy. So we assess. We figure out what works, we figure out what doesn't, we let go of what doesn't, and we move along. It's here, it's happening. If we don't do it, we're in this cycle again and again and again and again and again, and it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, I want to take a look at just finally, this made me think about this whole idea about 2020, a 2 and a 0, a 2 and a 0. It's a cycle. repetition over and over again. And yet we keep finding ourselves in the same place asking how we got here. We doing the same things, expecting different outcomes. Alright, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.